Welcome back once again, everyone, to the strawberries and cream dream that is Jeff the Ref here in his favourite colour scheme, as he's told us it's a go-go for the final of the Lizardmen pre-elimination tournament. We have got Kroq-Gar's forces taking on Tiktaq'to in what is sure to be a brutal frontline melee scrap. Both forces have got very heavy emphasis on infantry here. We've got some red-crested skinks on Kroq-Gar's side, Saurus with spears. He's got his own unit of Pterodon fire leech bolus unit, a Bastildon with solar engine, but no doubt that'll get stuck into the melee. We've got a unit of Saurus spears, feral cold ones, a skink skirmishers and chameleon skinks backed by Kroq-Gar himself, a skink cohort and a Saurus unit with spears. Very simple, straightforward build. Get in there and get chopping. Meanwhile, on Tiktaq'to's side of the field, he's bringing himself some Saurus spears. Yes, there we go. Another Saurus spears with shields. His own Bastildon with solar engine. He's also remained on his mount from the previous fight. No doubt it did good work for him. He's got his own Ripidactyls riders, basically air cavalry. Some skink cohorts, temple guards, hard-hitting unit. We'll have to see how they do. A higher-ranked skink cohort unit, some more skink cohorts, and finally another Pterodon riders with fire leech bolus. It's going to be an interesting fight. I want to see how this one turns out. This is for the final. Let's see who's going to be the overall winner. Now, Kroq-Gar has... He's really been on a tear. I mean, after that first round, it looked very shaky, and Master Mundi really looked like he was going to be the winner of that fight, and Kroq-Gar just pulled out the bag and got that clutch victory. But his second fight, was a lot better. He really put the hurt on Tehen Tuan, whatever his name was. And this round, it's the final test, but I'm quietly confident in Kroq-Gar's abilities in this fight. Whereas Tiktaq'to, he got a buy-in for the first round, so he didn't have to worry too much, but he did comfortably win his first battle. And then his second one recently against Oxyotl was a fairly straightforward affair. He didn't have too much difficulty. Oxyotl did bring a far smaller force, but this is shaping up to be one hell of a clash. There's so many infantry. I don't know if I'll be able to properly capture everything that goes on here. We're going to try my best, as this is one big fight. This for medium funds as well. The AI has generated a particularly solid force on both sides, and that was the solar engine, which unfortunately for that, it struck a tree, and we can see that it seems to produce some kind of unfortunate white goo on the floor. Let's just back away from that one slowly and hope we don't see that happen again. I'm not sure if that's necessarily safe for YouTube. As the Pterodon riders over here with the fire leech bolus. Oh, actually, was that? Wait a minute, was that Tiktaq'to's fire leech bolus? Oh, some of them are missing and they're hitting his own men. This is a bad start. That skink cohort has already lost a significant chunk of troops before it even got involved in the fight. Another skink cohort getting blasted as the two Pterodon fire leech bolus get stuck into each other. And it looks like our front line has started to develop. Now, Kroq-Gar's force, he's sent the feral cold ones forward just to hold up the Saurus spears and the Bastildon and the solar engine. A smart choice. Means a lot of his forces can get more stuck in quickly, do as much damage as possible before those vital reinforcements for Tiktaq'to get involved. Meanwhile, the Ripidactyls have now flown in. They've taken significant casualties and they are already breaking. They are a light air cavalry unit. They're largely meant to be going after things like skink skirmishers, for instance, not going in on the front line troops there. But Tiktaq has managed to force the skink of Kroq-Gar here to retreat, so that's going to be some vital ranged firepower of his forced to pull back. Meanwhile, his other skink skirmish unit is going to be under a little bit of stress here because the fire leech bolus are back in action, but they're choosing instead to attack the front line. Not a bad decision. That temple guard unit really needs to burn down the Saurus spears so they can get involved as quickly as possible and break up this group over here. Oh, Tiktaq is already fleeing. He's been surrounded by numerous Saurus units, and a lot of them are armed with spears, which means they're going to get a bonus against his Pterodon there. The Ripidactyls are down to a mere 3 riders, but somehow they're still in the fight. And over here on the left flank of Kroq-Gar, there's a huge brawl going on between Kroq-Gar and his own Bastildon backed by a skink cohort. fighting another Bastillodon, a Saurus Spear or shield. I think that's 2 Saurus Spears, yeah. That was a huge fight going on over there. This is settled down into 2 main combat areas. We've got the sort of center line and the left flank. And this is where it's all going to be determined here. Whichever side breaks first is definitely going to be the loser in there. If it breaks in the middle, it means that they're going to be able to sort of flank around and just pour more troops in, while this left flank needs to... Oh, here comes Tic-Tac. He's blasted. Oh, he used a blast ability there, I think. Deadly Onslaught has been activated, going up against Kroq-Gar, who has started to take damage. It's not good for Kroq-Gar, as one of his units is also on the brink of collapse there. Yep, they have broken. That was the Skink cohort. Not surprising. Light skirmish infantry, not built to take on giant dinosaurs and Sauruses equipped with spears. Meanwhile, the Pterodon Fire Leech balls for Kroq-Gar are getting stuck in, or are they... Nope, there we go. They are doing what they're supposed to do. They're throwing explosives down into the line. It looks like they're trying to attack the Bastillodon. I'm sure it'll do a lot of damage to that creature. Meanwhile, the center line is... It's still going. It's a vicious fight, but we've got the Saurus Spears. We've got the Chameleon Skinks holding their own. So I'm actually really surprised here. And it's... This is impressive now, as the center line is starting to break. You can see these 2 Skink cohort units, despite having fairly decent numbers, around 80 and 58 each remaining, they are losing morale rapidly, while the red-crested Skinks of 46 are actually starting to break through. They're starting to cause casualties and put the pressure on. The Temple Guard themselves have suffered quite a few losses, and in fact they are taking even more. We can see them now getting hit by 2 units of skirmishers, and you can just see Temple Guard dying one after the other. This barrage of fire. I don't care how well armed or armoured you are, eventually enough projectiles go your way, something's going to get through and it's going to cause injuries, it's going to cause casualties. That's exactly what's happening here, as the Temple Guard have reduced down to 42 people. That was a particularly loud motorcycle went past in the background there. The Saurus Spears, they're not going to last much longer against this, although they have managed to rally. I don't know, at this point, I'm looking at the number of the different coloured banners, and Kroq-Gar's blue banners seem to be more or less stable. Doesn't seem to be any of their units fleeing, but Tic-Tac's forces, on the other hand, definitely on the back foot. I would be surprised at this point if there was any chance that Tic-Tac's forces could actually come back from this. I mean, yes, he does have the Bastillodon with the solar engine, but the casualties are just mounting. From 2 relatively even-sized forces, the remaining number of enemy compared to allied troops is nearly double in difference, and the Bastillodon is, yeah, it's just about broken. He's got a unit of Saurus Spears coming back in, but I don't think Tic-Tac will be able to do much. In fact, I think Tic-Tac himself, yes, he's leaving the field. He's routed. There's no way he's returning now. I think that's it. I think Kroq-Gar has won. Yep, I'd say, yep, that is a decisive victory. There we go. Congratulations to Kroq-Gar if we go over to the stats here at the end. So both sides were relatively even in size. Kroq-Gar did have 837 compared to 806. Not a huge difference in numbers. But the losses speak for themselves. 465 for Kroq-Gar, 573 for Tic-Tac. So even the losses, again, weren't a huge disparity. I think both sides did have pretty decent force composition here. They were able to do a lot of damage to each other. But in the end, Kroq-Gar he won out. He himself getting 45 kills. His weakest performing unit kill-wise was the Skink cohort. They did break relatively quickly, but red-crested Skinks 189. One of his Saurus units getting 100 there. We've got the Chameleon Skinks and the Skirmishers, between them getting around 60. And the rest of his units just generally doing pretty decent numbers, most of them in double figures, which is good. Over on Tic-Tac's side, he got 35, as did his Skink Chieftain. And then the rest of his units, relatively even amount. Again, the Saurus unit with Spears and Shields did pretty good, 86, and the Temple Guard 52. So overall, it wasn't a bad performance. Tic-Tac didn't he didn't get overrun, he didn't get steamrolled. He did go out swinging, which is what we want there from a good old fight in the tournament in the old world. And that wraps up the Lizardmen rounds. And next time, we will be seeing the beginning of a new race and what their legendary lords can do. And we're getting edging ever closer to the actual grand tournament with each passing week. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And once again, congratulations, Kroq-Gar. You are the AI who had the slightly better randomized ideas compared to previous rounds. So thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you for the next one. Have a good week, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.